Okay, what matters most?
I'm Morgan Cumby and I'm from Austin, Texas.
I'm Addison McGinnis and I'm from Fort Worth, Texas.
I'm Noah Taylor and I'm from Huntington Beach, California.
I'm Lyle Lawson and I'm from Austin, Texas.
And I'm Claire Jones and I'm from Mobile, Alabama, and we're REP Mississippi, which stands for Research, Empower, and Perform.
We've created 3 objectives for this campaign. Number 1, we want to raise awareness of the services that Next Stage provides. Number 2, we want to change the perception of how growing old is viewed negatively. And number 3, we want to increase the clientele within Mississippi, but specifically within Lee County. One strength we noticed that Next Stage has is its affiliation with Mississippi Methodist Senior Services. This relationship is going to help create a trust within our potential clients so they're more inclined to use our services. We also noticed a weakness was within the transportation service that Next Stage already provides. Through research, we found that clients would be more likely to use the service such as that if they knew more about the driver and the program. One opportunity that we saw within Next Stage was how we can change the perception of growing old viewed negatively. We want to change that to be more exciting. We want people to see it as our next stage and they're just going to gain back their independence. We also saw a threat of potential clients going to use the competitors that are also within Mississippi.
So we conducted some secondary research, and by doing this, a couple numbers really stood out to us. The first was that there are 172 churches in Lee County alone, and the second number was that the minutes spent watching television by women 65 and up, which was 3,256 minutes on a study that we found. So some secondary research about media outlets. So the chart on your left shows weekly time spent with selected media among women 65 and older. And this just shows you that television is a really good media source to reach them. The second largest was AM/FM radio. The chart on your right shows social media use among online adults 50 to 64. And this shows that Facebook is their primary social media outlet. So we also performed secondary research on services. So the chart on your left shows the most valued services for making life easier for the elderly. A lot of these services are services that you already provide, but a couple things that stood out to us were the fact that transportation was the #1 service needed by them. And then a couple that weren't already in your services that stood out to us were the grocery delivery service and pet walking. So on the chart on your right shows major markets for dog walking by age, and 40% of the market is ages 50 and up. So that's a really big part of the market.
For our primary research, we conducted phone interviews with people of the ages 65 and up. There are 17 questions we asked, but we decided to share 5 with you of the most well-answered ones. One being, where do you find most of your information? Majority of people said newspaper, TV, word of mouth, and the radio stations. Number 2, what services do you need or want that we can provide? Everyone said house cleaning, handyman, transportation was a big one, dog walking was mentioned, and even a grocery delivery service was mentioned. Number 3, do you prefer getting your information by mail or in person? Majority of people are open to getting mail, but they would rather have someone come and talk to them in person so they can ask questions and get immediate answers. Number 4, would you use a taxi more if you knew it was safe? This is where the vetted transportation service comes in. They all said yes, that'd be so beneficial to have a number I could call that I knew and it was safe. And number 5, how do you feel when someone rings your doorbell? These answers were split in half. A lot of people don't like answering the door to strangers, and some people are open to hear what they have to say. Our big idea. What matters most? That blank right there, you fill that in. The customer fills that in. Your granddaughter fills it in. Your family fills it in. And we will take care of all the other services so that you can focus on what matters most.
As for our target audience, we've decided to break it up into 2 groups. We created a family, and we feel as though our target audience has a story to tell, and in order for us to create ads that connected with them and created a response from them, we needed to understand their story. So first we have the parents, Emily and Robert. They are in their mid to late 60s and have lived in Mississippi for the majority of their life. They are recently retired and beginning to notice their aging minds and bodies. Robert has begun to realize that he can no longer maintain his house from the inside out and feels that as though he's losing a sense of his independence. And Emily is noticing how much longer it takes her to complete tasks that once she completed effortlessly, making them lose time for their friends, families, and hobbies outside of the house.
This is our second target audience, Martha and John. Martha is 40 and John is 45, and they are the children of Robert and Emily. And they've just been noticing that their parents are beginning to rely on them more and more on a daily basis. And they, with their busy schedules, their geological location, and their growing families, it's becoming more difficult for them to be that source of reliability for their parents. And they love their parents and they want them to stay in the home that they love and keep their independence, but they're worried about their safety and the hassles that come with keeping up a house. And they're looking for a solution for their parents.
Through our primary and secondary research, we recommend that you add these 3 services to your company as a whole. Number 1 being dog walking service. With this, a Next Stage employee will come to the door, ring the doorbell, and take your dog on a walk of the route you're choosing and for however long. Number 2, the vetted transportation service. We will hold 5 interviews for the local taxi drivers, and within that we'll do a background check and even a driving test to ensure the safety of the Next Stage customers. And number 3, grocery delivery service. With this service, we'll use the already in place apps by grocery stores that are available in Tupelo. And hopefully in the future, Next Stage could pair with a local grocery store and set up a call function where someone can order 10 items or less and it be delivered by a Next Stage employee.
So our team believes that a unified look should be a top priority. As you guys all know, you don't really like strangers coming to your house, and neither do seniors. But when the customer comes and sees the employee drive up to their front door wearing the Next Stage Mississippi vest and seeing the Next Stage Mississippi flag on the car, they're going to feel safe about allowing the employee to come in and work on what needs to be fixed. The vests are going to cost in total for $500, and the car flags will cost $340 in total.
We created a couple visuals for y'all to see fully what we would do with the campaign. So our first is a newspaper ad that would be published in the Daily Journal. It would be 1/8 of a page and would cost roughly $324 a week. And basically it would have the Next Stage logo to reinforce the brand. It would have a list of services provided by Next Stage, and then it would have a saying about us taking away the hassle so that you can focus on what matters most, which is all of what our campaign is about. And then at the bottom it would have the number or some sort of call to action. We also created a storyboard for a television ad that would be posted on WTVA, the local news station. It'd be a 30-second spot. It would cost $1,500 to produce roughly and $500 per spot. So the storyboard starts with an older woman looking at a long Thanksgiving to-do list. The first scene shows a Next Stage handyman pulling up with his flag on his car. The next scene shows the grocery delivery service coming to her door, dropping off groceries with his vest on. The next scene shows the cleaning service coming and helping her clean to prepare. And then the 5th scene would be the family all together sitting around the table, enjoying and focusing on what matters most to them. And then the last scene would be the Next Stage logo to reinforce the brand. And in the background, it would say Next Stage for what matters most.
So for our newsletter, our vision is that the newsletter will be sent to current customers. So each month they will get a newsletter with local events listed and also a spotlight of one of the other customers or themselves. So they can get to know the other people that use the Next Stage services and talk about it on what ways to improve or what they like, and word of mouth, spread it all.
After we did research, we also saw that it would be beneficial to place a radio ad on 2 stations. This radio ad tells the story of a grandmother talking with her friend, getting ready for her grandchild to come stay with her, but this friend notices that the house just isn't appropriate for this grandchild. There are wires sticking out, and they're not able to fix it themselves. And so then at the end, you'll see the announcer talk about Next Stage, the services they provide, and how this would allow her to do what matters most by spending time with her child while letting Next Stage handle their hassles.
We also wanted to create a Facebook ad for social media. As you saw, Facebook was the most used media outlet This video would headline the ad, and a short message would follow that pretty much asks our customers, what matters to you? These are the things that matter to us, and let us take away the hassles of your next stage so you can focus on what matters most. We also created the ad so that Next Stage could post it on their Facebook page as well as send it out to our target audience.
So for guerrilla marketing, we created a brochure and a flyer. We recommend that you take them to local churches and local businesses to spread the word about Next Stage. Within the brochure, it's just all the information needed to know about Next Stage, the vision, the mission statement, the services offered, and a place to contact. The flyer shows the to-do list with the services, including the added ones that we suggested, saying, let Next Stage take care of your to-do list so that you can focus on what matters most.
So our strategy rollout plan, we wanted to take place over an 8-week period, and we wanted to start this at the beginning of November and then right after Christmas, just during the holiday season, because that's when everybody needs the most help at home. We're going to do a newspaper ad for 2 weeks, radio ad for 4 weeks, TV ad for 6 weeks, and the Facebook ad will run all 8 weeks.
We also created a budget breakdown where we showed you the cost of merchandising as well as the advertising with productions and runs, coming to a total a little over $28,000, which is right under the $30,000 budget.
And in conclusion, we believe that this generation should be able to experience the next stage of their life to the fullest capacity. Next Stage Mississippi is there to take away the hassles of life so you can focus on what matters most, like friends, family, and hobbies that you've lost time for. Our goal is to make the customers feel as safe as possible while making the services easily accessible and catering to their every needs. And we believe that our campaign is able to do that. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you. Any questions?
We have some campaign books for y'all here and also some media kits and little toolboxes.
One of these for the toolbox.
All the above.
A couple of questions. Very good report. That was good. A couple of questions. You had the weaknesses was a high base price. How did y'all come to that conclusion?
So we saw that when we were doing research and looking at the services provided, we noticed how there was a base price just for, people could just need a light bulb change, and a base price of, I think it was $60. People weren't as willing to pay that if they just need one item done versus if they had a whole to-do list and they're like, all right, $60, here you go, I have you for an hour, here's what you're gonna do. So when we interviewed our grandparents, we asked them how they felt about the pricing and what they did, and most of them were like, that's a little steep.
Okay, and I was going to ask you about that too, about the phone interviews you did. How many did you do, and how did you select the people?
We did 10,
Yeah, 10.
or actually more
10.
than 10.
Well, 4, 8, like around 20 people. I called all 4 of my grandparents separately, so I got 4 different answers and not just on the phone, like, oh, whatever you want. So I was like, be truthful. Please tell me if you use these type of services. You can say no, like it's fine. So we interviewed around 20 people for that. All different towns, different ages, ranging 65 and up.
And that's how you got the dog walking and the transportation. That's where you got the.
Yes,
That
sir.
was also in our secondary research as well. Some of the articles are provided.
That kind
in
of
the book,
sparked
too.
our interest, and then we delved into some secondary research as well to back it, and we found that a lot of people, or the market was mainly that age group, so that was really interesting to us.
So that's really where your data came from?
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
On the threats, you mentioned religious affiliation.
Yeah, so, sorry, do you want to?
No, go ahead.
Okay, well, we just know that some people aren't as religious as others, so when they saw the religious affiliation, they were a little more hesitant. Not that they were 100%, no, I'm not going to use it, but it was like, Do I have to attend church services? Is there what more is going on here? What else? Where are the, behind the scenes sort of stuff? And so they were a little more hesitant. And so we just wanted to put that as more of a weakness because we were afraid that that would deter some people.
Right. Well, just, in some cases, it goes the other way. Because
Right.
It's a trusted
Right.
thing.
That's
So
true.
when people are looking for care for the elderly, they tend to migrate toward a not-for-profit
Right.
religious affiliation. I think the uniforms are a good idea. That was good. So-
And also with the flags, you're branding yourself as they drive around as well. So it's a double win-win there.
How did you pick the 2 radio stations to advertise on?
So we thought that it was the most popular radio stations really, but also we wanted to do a country radio station because we thought that might be a large part of y'all's customer base due to the fact that it is Tupelo and that's their #1 radio station. So we kind of want to base it around that.
So did you pull demographics or anything like that?
Well, we looked at the numbers on who listens to it and how many people listen to it on a daily basis, and those were by far the most listeners. So that's why we chose them.
Tupelo is a bunch of country hits.
No, I think that they like their good country music.
Great job.
Yeah, great. I was just make sure we did just for future, we did a direct mail to age and income qualified folks, and we've gotten a ton of positive feedback from that. So that's where we've gotten a lot of jobs. So just go put that in your repertoire. But great job, question?
I missed it.
I was curious about cooking or any kind of chef service. Did that come up at all? Like our prepared food instead of grocery delivery, like a meal delivery?
That didn't come up in
That
any
didn't
of
come
my
up in our
personal
research
emails or.
at all. Like,
Yeah.
most services like needed and used, it wasn't listed on there, so we didn't do that. We just decided if they want, they can order from the Kroger, like a meal, like,
We had some discussion on the Meals on Wheels program, which is part of you guys' program, and so I'm not sure there was a lot of focus on the Meals on Wheels
Right.
aspect of it, but again, and that could have been my fault directing it away.
And also, I don't know about y'all's grandparents, but my grandmother loves to cook. Like, that's her thing. And I think that's a vast majority of people like spending their time when in their house. They like to do things like that. So I think that's also why it wasn't in the secondary research, that was something that they really wanted.
That's awesome.
Okey doke. Thank you very much.
Thank y'all.
That way.